bones lay. Been trying to clean this mother for a long day. I've been thinking about the words in the bedroom across the hall. I know it don't mean nothing at all. Just look outside the window, inside your mind you'll find me. I've been treating you for days, but it's hard when you're just walking by me. And I see your shaded grace, it's enough for me, and it's blinding. I've been searching for yesterdays, but it's hard enough just to find me. 40,000 pounds of love, 40,000 pounds of love, 40,000 pounds of love. I just put my feet in sand, ought to be a tall drink that stand me. I've been trying to feel you for days, but it's hard when you're just staring at me. I've been thinking about those you held in the bedroom across the hall. I know it don't mean nothing at all. Just look outside the window, inside your mind you'll find me. I've been trying to reach you for days, but it's hard when you're just walking by me. And I see your shaded grace, it's enough for me, and it's blinding. I've been searching for yesterdays, but it's hard enough just to find me. 40,000 pounds of love, 40,000 pounds of love, 40,000 pounds, 40,000 pounds of love, 40,000 pounds of love, 40,000 pounds of love. If I could go back time, I open my mind's eye, you'll be the one inside this lonely heart of mine. Remember our first sunrise and all the lullabies. We held each other tight like so many times. And I told you I wanna hold you. Heaven, I told you I wanna hold you in my eyes forever. Please don't go away. Isn't that what all the love songs say? I love you forever blue. Stone twisted devil licks his lips and chewing off his fingertips, and soul searching hypnotized falling by the wayside. Sympathy for Morrison, Elvis rubbernecking, fishing like Jesus, waiting for the line to come on in. It's 2 a.m., I'm waiting for the sunrise. Down that lost highway, Johnny Cash is still alive. Smell your perfume from around your neck, cursing you, wishing you was back. Falling 1,000 miles straight into the devil's smile. Didn't think it would be true, baby, I'm still missing you. Baby licks her lips and pulling out my heart, sucking on her fingertips, and soul searching, hypnotized, falling by the wayside. Sympathy for Morrison, Elvis rubbernecking, fishing like Jesus, waiting for the line to come on in. Falling 1,000 miles straight into the devil's smile. Didn't think it would be true, baby, I'm still missing you. Falling straight into the devil's smile. Didn't think it would be true, baby, I'm still missing you. Stone twisted. Have you? Everybody needs a friend to hold on to. Sometimes you need someone to lay their hands on you. Every once in a while, I believe it's true. How must I wait for you? I believe it, I believe it, I believe it, I'm in love with you. I believe it, I believe it, I believe it, I'm in love with you. I believe it, I believe it, I believe it, I'm in love with you. Child, you know it. Child, you know it's true. A little bird up in the sky, I want to sing your lullaby. My oh my, why do you hang your head and cry? Everybody needs a friend to hold on to. I believe it. Sometimes you need someone to lay their hands on you. I believe it. Every once in a while, I believe it's true. How long must I wait for you? I believe it, I believe it, I believe it, I'm in love with you. I believe it, I believe it, I believe it, I'm in love with you. I believe it, I believe it, I believe it, I'm in love with you. Child, you know it. Child, you know it. Little bird up in the sky, I want to sing your lullaby. My only question is
Chuco went down to Texas. He was come from East LA. He was doing time for parking fines, and now it's time to play. His Impala broke down in a South Texas town, so he took out his only guitar. He met a mariachi named Pepe Montachi who said,
"Hey man, what's wrong with your car?"
Pepe, you don't know it, but I'm a mariachi too. If you're not as scared to take a dare, I'll make a bets with you. You play pretty good requinto, Pepe, but give this Chuco his due. I bet my Chevy Impala que tú no vales nada, cause I think I'm better than you.
Well, you know my name is Pepe, but you don't know where I'm from. I'll sell your car for a drink at the bar. Hey, ese, ¿tú estás dumb?
Pepe's got a family and he feeds a half a ten. Chuco comes to Texas and he's straight out of the pen. But this mariachi's loco, he always stands alone. Pepe's not a wetback, he's jingo.
So Chuco pulls out his guitar and he said,
Órale, let's go.
And Pepe said,
Dame chance, vato. Estoy comiendo un taco.
but the Chuco looks at Pepe and says,
Hey man, what's up? I'm about to play, no me digas boy, just listen and shut up.
When the Chuco finished playing, Pepe said,
Man, that didn't sound right. Let me show you how we do it here on a mariachi night.
La vida no vale nada. Empieza llorando y así se acaba. Eso le rezo a mi Diosito, que venga por mí en un ratito.
Well, the Chuco flipped off Montachi because he knew that he'd been beat. So he gave this mariachi his old Impala keys. And Pepe said,
Hey, ese, that was fun. Next time bring some beer, cause I fixed your car crowbar. Órale, I'm out of here.
We're proud and the same. I'm South Texas, you're East LA. You're just smoking your dough. I sit around praying to the boy.
This is a true story.
And that's got to be the best way I have ever started a 20 Question Tuesdays. Welcome, everybody. I'm not kidding. Absolutely incredible. Folks, it's 20 Question Tuesdays. I'm your host, Jeff Plankenhorn. We're here on Austin Music Television, AustinCityJams.com, and of course on my socials, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And for those who have never been here before, basically early on in the pandemic, I flipped my camera on one day. I'm a singer-songwriter from in Texas, and I'm up on Vancouver Island. And I flipped on the camera one day, and I just started taking questions like a workshop. And then Sheila Steele from Austin Music TV asked me if I would put this on the local cable channel, which I thought would be really cool. And I got this Restream kind of app thing so I could go to multiple platforms, and there's a little button at the bottom with a person and a plus sign. And I was like, I can invite guests. That's going to be so much cooler. So I think maybe my first guest was like Michael O'Connor, and then we had like Jamie Harris, and then we had Ray Wiley, and we had Ruthie, and I have like songwriters and guitar players, and I even had my first house concert promoter, Peggy Hanna, on recently, and it was so awesome. This has just been a truly beautiful thing for me to stay connected. I will be back in Austin and in Texas in August. I'll be playing mostly Canada until then, and the border doesn't open until July 21st, so cross your fingers, I'm going to get back in safely. I got my next shot scheduled here. The rollout's a little slower here in Canada. So everybody, if you haven't gotten a vaccine yet, please, there's a reason that you don't have polio. The reason you don't have polio is because you took a vaccine. So please, I'm not going to get political, but it's just the way it is. It shouldn't be political. I am so happy to be here with my friend Alex today, you guys. Let's see, is there any other housekeeping? Sorry I had to cancel last night. We've had this crazy heat wave, and for here, it's kind of insane to be around, 100 degrees. I know we're all used to it in Texas, but it's kind of like the opposite of snowcalypse, and all sorts of people, getting heat strokes and stuff like that. So I had to cancel last night. I'll make it up to you all, and do one next week. Let's see what else. My Patreon comes out this week. If you want to, hit me on my Patreon. I get to say that here, 2 new songs every month, 1 cover, 1 original, and I absolutely love it. It's so much cooler than Spotify. You get behind the scenes stuff. I get to make music every single month, and my brand new EP comes out July 9th, Covered Uncovered Volume 2, and the last and final single on it is a cover song of a Joe Ely song that I really, really love. So I hope you guys dig it. But without further ado, as they say, we got a bunch of people on. We got some good questions to start with. Put the questions in the comments. Your questions are way more interesting than mine, and it's really fun, and I love it. And I'm going to go ahead and say hello. Alex!
What's
How
up,
are you,
brother?
bro?
I'm good.
I miss you. It's so freaking good to see you. You're
Likewise.
outside, I'm inside. It's backwards.
Yeah. What's going on?
I hear that there's been some rain, so you've had just a little bit of a
Yeah.
respite. It's muggy, but it's a little cooler.
Yeah. It's livable. It's livable.
Livable in Texas is probably all we can ask for. Oh, I forgot to tell everybody, I had to move the plank tank because the office that I was the plank tank's my office. The office I was renting, the guy rented out the whole floor, but I got lucky. He's gonna put a little divider in this place down here. I'm gonna have this really, really nice room for a few months. So everything's all over the place, and that's why I look wonderfully unprofessional. As always. Oh man, there's so many great people on here already. Hello, Joanna. Hi, Peggy Ann. Larry, very nice to see you. I miss you very much too. Hi, Peggy Ann. Nice to see you there. Everybody's here. Get your questions in there. And, I missed one question. Oh, let's start with this one because this is fun. Let's just dive right in. Oh, you know what? Before we dive right in, I'm going to ask one question. I don't usually ask Jeff Plankenhorn questions. That's me. But I want to know, tell me a little bit about that last song that we were hearing. Is it Chuco Went Down to Texas?
Yeah, Chuco Went Down to Texas. We wanted to make a spoof, kind of like Weird Al Yankovic parody of Devil Went Down to Georgia, and Willie was game. He's like, yeah, let's do it. I want to narrate the song, and we had a great time. It was funny because we're in the studio and Willie's he's narrating, so he's like. And the old mariachi, and Carl Theo was producing it, right? So he's like, Willie, can you please say mariachi? And he's like, no. And so we were all cracking up. We were like, dude, don't ask him any more questions.
No. He might walk out. We got him doing this amazing thing. Well, I mean, and it fits the character of the song too, because it doesn't matter where in the world you are, we know Willie.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it doesn't
Willie's a
matter what part of the
one-take,
world you are. It's
one-take
just,
wonder.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
just gonna go in there and do it. Yeah, mariachi, you know,
Mariachi.
I am
I love it.
mariachi. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it too, man. It's really, really beautiful. Okay, so who else was on that? Was it the Del Boys?
So Del Castillo, yeah. Rick and
Okay.
Mark were on there, and also Henry Garza was the other voice from Los
Oh, I
Lonely
was
Boys.
wondering who that was.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't think it was
yeah,
Carl.
yeah,
It didn't sound like Carl.
yeah. So we had
For
fun.
those who don't,
Yeah.
I was
Go
just
ahead.
say for those who don't know, Carl Thiel, pretty brilliant producer. I mean, you could just jump on some things that everybody knows, like Bob Schneider's Lonely Land and so many other things he's done over the years. Done a lot of TV music as well, but Carl's such a great producer, man. It doesn't matter what kind of music he gets on, he gets great sounds and he gets great
Yeah,
stuff out of bands. It's like really what a producer does is like just kind of pulls it all. It's like I think of it as the director of the movie, you know,
yeah.
putting everything together and knowing. We used to joke and say the best producers were the ones who had the best Rolodex back when people had Rolodexes, you know, because they had the numbers of the right people to call and stuff.
Right. Right.
But yeah, man, I love that just like every little intricate part of it is parodied well too. Like the different parts of the story, the different parts of the down, run boys run, because the
Yeah.
parts, and then like everything about it, man, I was having a blast. It was also really, really
Yeah.
nice to hear. I put up that song 40,000 Pounds of Love because I miss Bert. And so I put
Yes.
that up at the beginning because we had a little bit of time. So you tell him I said hi next time you
I
see
love.
him.
Yeah, that's one
And
of my favorite songs.
mine
40,000.
too, man. That's one of the
Yeah.
funnest things that we did. Of course, I love everything from that. Um, and then to hear like some of these songs in the intro for the countdown as well. What is is it Forever Blue?
Yeah, Forever Blue.
Tell me a
I
little bit of
haven't.
that.
Yeah, so I didn't record that in a studio. I just recorded it, on my phone with a guitar. I just
Just
was like,
demoed it up.
yeah, was I was just thinking about all the highways we've been through and you know, all the people we've met along the way, and how you kind of fall in love with that lifestyle and the people on the road, and so it kind of gives you this forever blue feeling, like I hope I get to see him again. I hope I get to go out there, and then time passes on, and you know, and so does life. So that's
Yeah.
kind of where that song kind of comes from.
I
Yeah,
know that you with your two little ones, you and Laurie with the girls,
yeah,
and then also with
yeah,
Phoenix,
yeah.
you know,
Phoenix.
being
Yeah,
being
yeah,
so big now. We all kind of change perspective. We all kind of start looking at things a little bit different as we get older,
yeah,
and we're able to kind of see a lot of the good in places where we didn't necessarily, and
yeah.
well, nostalgia takes on a whole new meaning,
Right, right. Exactly.
and appreciation does too. And I see a lot of my writer friends in every style of music kind of pulling that into what they're writing. Um, when did that one come about?
I wrote that, I think, in 2018.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So not that long ago, in
yeah,
the grand scheme of
yeah.
things.
Right.
Nowadays, man, like a 4-year-old
Yeah.
song is like, oh yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
20-year-old songs date myself in about 2 minutes in a show.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the first questions I really dug, Lee asks, are there different parts of your brain cycle accessed when singing Spanish versus English? And I mean, that's a good question, especially
Yeah.
because now, didn't you grow up like kind of around Toledo?
Well, no, actually, I moved to Toledo after I was like, I think I turned 19 or 20, and then I moved to Toledo for a bit.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, to
I
be
knew
with
we
my
had that
mom, and
Ohio connection.
yeah, yeah. But South Texas is where I grew up, and South
Yeah.
Texas, they speak Spanish and English, and sometimes both at the same time, which is kind of
Yeah, in the same
confusing.
sentence. Yeah.
in the same sentence. So, I guess working with that and having that always in my head, I can work both languages, fluently.
Pretty interchangeable. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And, but the thing is, too, I think that there's a difficulty in some things. Tell me if it's true in this. I know that if you're in like one style of music, it's kind of hard to break into another. And I know if you're known for being like an instrumental backup person, it's hard to become a front person. My gut tells me that if you are someone who predominantly sings in Spanish, moving into
yeah,
predominantly singing in English is a difficult hurdle. And, like that first song that we played, 40,000 Pounds of Love, or some other
yeah,
stuff, I remember that
yeah.
being, a big thing. Like, we have to make a conscious effort. Like, I want to sing some stuff in English too,
Right, right.
Has it been difficult in some ways?
Well, when I first started, I didn't think, and I'm talking about the music scene here in Austin, which is like it was like 1999, 2000. I
Yeah.
never thought that I was going to go into a studio and sing in write some songs in Spanish with Rick and Martel Castillo. And then that was going to be my, like, kind of like open door to the music scene, because
Career.
I never
Yeah.
thought, I never thought that was going to be it. So Spanish to me was like, it's fluent, and it's something that I have, but I didn't think it was going to be or catch on or even be accepted, in the music industry here in
Hmm.
Austin.
But
So
it was accepted with open arms.
I was
And
surprisingly accepted. Yeah.
there was a vacuum,
Wow.
I'm sure,
Yeah. Yeah.
because there's not a, there's not a tiny bit of, I don't know how to put this. Basically, the long story short is, it really, really is music that brings the two together. I mean, if you're listening even to that fun parody, you've got
Yeah.
like this absolutely sick solo where you guys are both, where the brothers are on classical guitars and they're taking influence from true mariachi stuff, and
Yeah.
that influence is there, and then boom, there's the Santana style solo,
Yeah.
that's obviously through a half stack that's cranked, and it's rock
Right.
guitar, and its
Yeah.
influences are from a completely different place, and it's just not hard in this day and age to say that's cool, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And but I imagine that being that you guys were kind of on the innovative side of that in my mind, especially for the time when it was coming out. I knew when I was around, it was like, oh, these are the guys who were doing it. I was like, because when we kind of met through the Outlaw Trail thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
2007 or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And I
Yeah.
was in this backing band, and I just remember just being like, go, it was like, man, this guy is such a strong front man. Like, you have a very big presence on stage, whether you like it or
Thank you.
not. Sorry,
Yeah.
you're welcome. You do, man. You come, like there's certain people I know that command the stage. Like if Joe Ely walks into a room, everybody's looking at Joe Ely. If you walk out on stage, everybody's looking at you, man. You just have passion, and you're very, very, very commanding on a stage. And it
Thank
was
you.
always just something I absolutely loved. Oh, we got great people chiming in here. I should also mention, hey
Yeah.
Ruben,
Yeah.
what's happening, San Antonio? How you
Ruben
doing?
B.
Alexander, right on. He says, hey Alex, my friend.
Yes.
Corte, Brady,
Alexander.
hey Brady, what's going on?
Brady
Peggy
Woodall.
Ann, do your more emotional songs come from your first language? Well, he was kind of saying, just if I can help, that both were kind of your first language. I
Yeah.
mean, it was
Yeah.
English first, but you were speaking a lot of conversational Spanish at the same time. Is that
Right.
right?
Right. That's correct. You have to. I mean, it's crazy because down in South Texas, I remember some of my friends were also taking French in
Right.
Mexico. They were learning French,
Yeah.
Spanish. Well, Spanish is their first language, and English as their
Hmm.
second or third language. So it was just right on the other side, of on our side of the border, that we spoke Spanish and English, and there was no French, and I was like, "Where's my French classes?" So
You were kind of yeah. Well, I think
yeah,
also people don't realize that we think of America, the U.S. as being a melting pot, and it is, and that's what we love about it, and that's a good thing. God damn
yeah,
it. But people don't realize how much of a melting pot Mexico is.
yeah,
They just kind of they don't necessarily think of it the same way. Whether it's for whatever reason, they're kind of blind to that obvious fact
yeah,
that it is a huge mix of cultures, languages, religions,
yeah,
tons of stuff. You know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's just one of those things that we all try to. I wouldn't say educate. I would just say we
Right.
try to speak to.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
So I guess coming from my um, traditional Spanish music that I was learning when I was a boy. Um, of course, I tend to think that that's going to be in my mind, my emotional, my passionate, side sometimes might have a little, more light on it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, I'll tell you what, though, man. There's some songs that we've cut over the years, together and apart, that are in English that um, obviously are really, really deep and personal to you as well.
yeah,
Um, you know. All right, so
yeah,
Alexander is from great drummer from Brazil. Welcome to you.
yeah.
So glad you're
Deco.
here. Glad you're here. Hey, Deco, what's happening? Glad you're here. And the other thing is, you sing in Italian too.
Yes, you know what? I got a few albums out, and this
Oh,
was my
cool.
first album. This was my first
Boy,
album.
there you go.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Costello Rockero. And the coolest thing is that the disc is red vinyl,
Oh, I
and
love that.
yeah, and so when I first got it, I was like, this is like my first, album that I get to listen to, and my kids get to listen to, and when you grow up with albums, right? It's like one of those deals, and so Paolo Pagetti from Milan had heard a version of me singing uh, the Godfather theme, right? Parla più piano.
Right.
And he goes, "Hey, Alex, let me help you with some ideas that I have for a whole album." And I was like, well, "Let's do it." I was a little shaky and a little
Well,
scared.
sure.
It's a whole nother language. Of course, my wife speaks Portuguese from
Right, of
Brazil,
course.
and but they're also Italian. They're Italian immigrants from World War II that fled Italy and moved to Brazil. And they had to learn Portuguese
Mm-hmm.
as their second language. So some of the Italian was lost, along the way, but there's still some of it in there. I hear her speaking every once in a while to me in Italian.
Is that right? So every once in a while it
Yeah,
creeps
yeah,
through.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah, so yeah, so Rivertail Productions out of Milan, Italy. Of course, he loved that there was an Italy, Texas, as well.
yeah. Of course he
And
did. Right.
yeah,
Yeah. I remember Joe Ely was telling me. Joe used to go to Ely quite a bit, and we were on the road someplace, and he said, "Yeah, I was in Italy. Oh, by the way, ding, that's my first name drop of the show. There's going to be plenty of them. I'm not above that." And
yeah,
Joe was like, "Yeah," he said, "I'm in Italy," and I said, and we were playing an anniversary of a town, and
yeah,
he said, he said, "Oh," Joe said to him, "Oh, well, Lubbock just had its, I don't know what it was, 100-year anniversary or something." And the Italian
yeah.
promoter was like, "Ha ha ha ha. We are celebrating 2,500 years," or it was something ridiculous,
Yeah,
and it seems like no matter how open you are, and no matter how open you kind of feel like you are, you
yeah,
still can kind of get smush place in a good way, and
Yeah.
realize that things are a little bit bigger than you think, and
Yeah.
older, and
Yeah.
there's just a whole world out there. And I mean, you know me, and I'm kind of a fan of uh, bringing any kind of music together is generally a good thing. I think that's what all of our favorite artists did. They put together their influences and came up with whatever was them. And I see you
Yeah.
doing that on a regular basis, my friend. Joanna says,
Yes.
"Dang, I'm gonna have to buy another record."
All right.
Yeah, she wants
Yeah.
to get that record now. I love it. Here's another question that's kind of cool. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go? What new artists are inspiring your songwriting, or any new genres of music that have surprised you and your creativity? Now I do see. Now I know you, man. Like as you know, really. I mean, come on. You got a GNR T-shirt on. We know you like
Yeah.
rock. I also know you're a
Right, of
huge
course.
Stones fan, and I know
Yeah.
that. But I mean, here you are talking about singing in Italian and singing the Godfather theme and doing a
Yeah.
record of that, and then working on this parody stuff with Will.
Yeah.
What comes to mind with a question like that? We can never say all of it. Is there anything that kind of pops into your mind?
And I think that was my brother Joey Tees, out of California, who asked that. And love you, bro. And so, yeah, I guess my what I'm gonna say is I love all kinds of music. The one I've been digging lately is the first Spanish female rapper from Spain. Her name's Mala Rodriguez, and I am
All
just over
right.
the moon about this girl, Mala Rodriguez.
She's going on my
Pretty
listen
amazing.
list.
Yeah, she's just fun. She's got some fun music, and like I said, first female rapper from Spain that you know has got my attention. And lyrically, vocally, just everything that she does is pretty cool. Presentation. I also listen to a lot of gypsy, a lot of gypsy music from flamenco,
Right.
and just like I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. I'm like, just like, oh my god, okay, how many times do I count? 12 times, and oh, this one's
Well, and
five.
flamenco is so
It's not.
it's so
Yeah,
connected to dance. Like
yeah,
what I find to be a parallel is like, hip hop wouldn't be hip hop without like early breakdancing and graffiti. Flamenco is not flamenco without dance involved.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
part of that shit, man.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
big part
exactly.
of it. You
Yeah.
know,
One of the
which
older I was just going to say one of this old video that I saw, and it was a Puerto Rican dance troupe, and these kids, they were probably like 10 or 11-year-old boys dancing like old men with canes. The old men would teach them how to dance, so the movements were canes, and so it was so awesome, to see that. That's the beauty of music and movement and dance and all that. So I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah.
it touches you. It touches you, and it gets inside, man. There's no doubt about it. I think also too. There's okay. So we all talk about how there's bad sides to Spotify and streaming, but the good sides are playlisting each other's music, sharing each other's music, putting my music next to your music, next to somebody else's music, and sharing fans. It doesn't
Yeah.
really transfer into dollars the way Spotify says it does. It doesn't. But what it
Right.
does do is it absolutely hips people to music that they wouldn't be into. And for those people who are out there like looking for music, that kind of
Yeah.
fan, it's
Yeah.
really, really great. So when you put something like Malo Rodriguez, I want to put it in the comment, and that's what happens to
Yeah.
regular basis. That didn't happen for years when I was touring because I was just hitting the road so hard, and
Yeah.
that part I love because when we get done, just like right off the bat, first thing I'm gonna do when I do some other business today is check out Mala, and
Yeah.
that's another thing that I love. I love about what we do here,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just dig it. I dig it. Because it used to be like my friends would like have to literally loan me a record, which those days are coming back, thankfully, too. Again, it's never going to make us really, it's never going to make us that much money, but it's a beautiful thing to hand somebody a record and say, go listen to this, you know?
You know, this is my okay, so I still go out and look at live music, so I went and saw the Reverend Few,
hey, we're going to talk about some friends in town.
Those guys. Yeah. So
there you go. Now we're talking local.
Yeah, these guys just blew the roof off that place. The Reverend Few, and I went to support local music here in Austin, you know, and that's kind of what it's about for me still. I need to go and have my, you know, it's my mix of music and people to enjoy, you know, to listen.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and we can't lose that, you know. That's why I mean, I love that. I love that you just put that up there right there, and I hope everybody gets a chance to check them out as well. I should have them on the show sometime. Kate Howard says, sorry for the late question, Jeff, and I never mind. I always get people, I try to get people to put in the questions early. That reminds me, I should make sure that on the group page we didn't have any questions either. But I'm going to go to your question here directly, Kate. Moment. Oh, no, now. Here we go. Alex, would you consider collaborating with Julia Milanta? Okay, there's an Italian. She's a monster guitarist and a different songwriter. Of course, yeah. Yes. There you go. Yeah, Julia's great, man. I know her from she's done forgive me, I'm such a good interviewer. Plankenstein a couple years in a row, and she's also with Gabe Rhodes. By the way, Plankenstein's on this year. If you want to be on it, please do.
Nice.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it at the Saxon.
Nice. Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, I have collaborated with Julia Milanta, but just like you know how it is in the business, it's like you start working, and things kind of just like start to hustle. But I did, Kung Fu.
It's just like that.
Yeah, I wrote a song with Julia a couple years back, and but it's there, you know, it's one of those tunes that I consider a great song, and I love writing with other writers, and you know, so.
Paolo, oh excuse me, I said that wrong. Paolo Pagetti.
Paolo Pagetti. All right.
Pagetti. All right. So now we're talking. He says, "Why Mr. Costello?" And then he says, "Hi, Mr. Rockero, best singer on planet Earth." He says, "Yep, we were just talking about that, brother." Right on, man.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I love it. You're bringing in people from all over. Oh man, that's beautiful. Okay, so. And then we got that. Hey, I wanted to also ask a little bit about Lee. I'm kind of skipping the soccer question right now, but he did say, I'm sorry, you know, I know El Tri and all that stuff, but he says, once upon a time, Viva Real Madrid. Got it. Yeah, there's your quick soccer answer, my friend. What was I going to say? Could you tell me just a little bit about the work that you're doing right now with Alejandro Escobedo? I know the crossing is coming out on August 27th. Now that is a complete like reworking, right?
Yes. So I have both albums here. I wanted to show them to you. It's just one of my. I mean, this is like, you know, I'm gonna go to the grave, and these albums are gonna.
Yeah,
they're going to be here for the rest of my daughter's lives and my son's life. And I was just, what a collaboration. I mean, it's kind of like you when you work with Joe Ely, right? I mean, you know, you're working with a...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's like, there's nothing you can do. Yeah.
So
Alejandro is another, he's another one of those cats that you walk out on stage, you're like, oh, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like what? You know? Oh, okay.
He's just making the magic happen, bro. It's like, man. You know,
every note.
Yeah, I have to tell him. So tell me
how did it come about? How did it come about? Okay.
Well, I was just gonna say, I just have to tell him when we're on stage, just look at me when you want me to sing, all right? Because I get lost in the,
which
you know.
yeah, and that's what I do. Like if I'm side, when I was a sideman for years, it would be like, okay, listen, listen, listen. They look, okay, it's time to go into your acts for just a minute. Don't play too much. Go back to the song, you know.
Yeah,
But you have to do that singing
yeah.
with
I
Alejandro.
mean, I
Because he's
learned,
such a
I learned.
presence.
Yeah, he's a presence, and and it's no small task. It's like, he's asking something from me, and I want to bring it out. I want to give it what he hears and what he believes that I can do. You know,
No,
I
that's why he
I do
asked
my
you,
best.
man. That's why he asked you
So
too, man. Because that's the way you think about it, you know, and because you can. Okay, so it's a complete. Help me again. It's a complete reworking of the album, The Crossing, right?
yeah, so we went into the studio, um, and forgive me for the time
That's okay.
escape
Don't
here,
worry about
but
that.
I
It's a
I know
blur.
there was, yeah, there's that blur, that the whole world stopped, and but I believe it was a year ago, year and a half ago, and we walked in. Uh, he had sent me. At first, he had sent me a message. He said, "Hey, Alex, would you be interested in translating uh, um, an album?" And I said, "Sure,
Why
let me
not? I've
hear
never
it."
done
Yeah,
that before, but okay.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Alejandro. I'm
So
gonna say yes.
yeah, I'm gonna have to say yes and to Spanish. So there it was, and then I sat down. It took me a few months to kind of feel everything and get everything to where I felt comfortable with it. And then we walked. I sat with him and shared with him the songs, and I said, well, I record there at Rick Del Castillo's studio, Smiling Castle Studio, and
Been there
I
and love
work
it.
best. Yeah, I work best with Rick. So um, he just said, yeah, let's meet there, and we met there and started working on. That's kind of where we got together and sat and kind of like took took what I had already translated and kind of made it work for him as well. So you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Well,
um,
it looks like it's coming out around the 27th, so I really want everybody to. You know what I'm going to do too is I'm going to throw up, just so you find it, Alejandro's website right there. Look at this. I'm starting to
yeah,
get semi-professional
yeah,
with these things. There you go. There you go. That's a good way to do
nice,
it. And we'll leave that up just for a second while we're talking about all that. And
yeah,
I should also mention we're about halfway through already. That was fast.
wow,
We also, just so everybody knows, I take tips for these shows and I split them with my guests. All I hope is that, we get a little quick meal for Lottie and for Alex, or here's a better way that you can read it. And just for doing the show, you get them a tank of gas. You got a couple bucks, throw it in there. It helps out. I really, really like the fact that I'm able to help out just a little teeny bit for whoever gets on this show, and it means a lot to me. And next week, my guest will be Jeff Hortillosa of Whiskey
right,
Shivers, and
nice,
it'll be great to him as well. He's doing some solo projects, and just Horty's kicking butt right now. And then it'll be
nice.
another great week, great week. So thank you guys for that, and thank you again to Austin Music TV and Austin City Jams, where we're hanging out. Mo questions, people, and let me go back to this because I hate being pushy. Alex Ruiz is my guest. So I know you've also done some different collaborating with some other cats over the years. We did that record with Gary Katz. It was so much fun, and
Yeah,
but you've also worked with Los Fandangos, and
yeah.
that's a different kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gypsy. It's a gypsy like flamenco and gypsy style. We do a lot of Gypsy Kings, but we also do a lot of flamenco from Spain, more
Yeah.
rumbas, rumba
Yeah.
flamenco. So people kind of get up and dance a little bit. And then you've met Jose
Of course.
Tejeda,
Yeah.
who plays with Atash, and few other projects, but he's an amazing Cuban guitar player here in Austin that just blew my mind when I heard him the first time. I'm like, oh my God, I got to do
Can we
something
please
with
do
Jose.
something?
You know?
Yeah. Can we please do something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have anything coming
Yeah.
up with anybody at all right now? Like, what's your next thing? Because I know that people are very slowly. I mean, actually, in Austin, it's not so slowly anymore. People are jumping in and jumping in and jumping in, hopefully safely, to performing.
Yeah.
What's your experience with that been right now, and how are you doing?
Well, we'll be doing our first trio show this Wednesday at Guedo's Tacos, right? It's at Guedo's restaurant bar.
Wait, with Fandango or with Del Castillo?
Del Castillo Trio. They're at Sun Radio.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the brothers and you. Oh, is it? Are you doing the Texas Radio Live?
Yeah. So we'll be doing that.
Oh, I used to co-host that show whenever I could. David Arnsberger.
Yeah.
Hey, send out a nice little well wish, David. David's been kind of in and out of the hospital, but I hope he's doing okay.
Yeah.
So nice well wish to him, and
yes,
thanks to Sun Radio for putting local music on the radio every single week like that.
Yeah.
That'll be fun. It's out in the Oak Garden. That's such a great place. All they really ask is that you give them a little donation for the station, and then you get, great music in a great setting.
Yeah, no doubt. It's gonna be fun. So we're doing that, and then we got a few other shows here and there. Sam's Burger Joint and all that. Just look up Del Castillo Music. Yeah, DelCastilloMusic.com, and you'll see.
Oh, I almost had that one ready.
Yeah. Ruben B. I love Ruben B.
I know. It's so good that Ruben's here, man. Wait
bro.
a second. Oh, this one already exists. Oh, that's why. Yeah, man, we got all the good people coming in here. Oh, Lottie, thank you for that message. Me too. I love everything we've ever done together, and I hope we do more and more over the years. I'm sorry that I've been so distant from Texas, but I've literally been stuck behind another border for a while.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a bad place to be stuck. To be honest, it's been pretty lovely. Ooh, Ruben says Alex killed it on my record. Is this a recent record? Could you tell us a little bit about that? I don't mind promoting friends here. That's another big part of what we do, and you and I are both friends of Ruben's.
Ruben has the song "Waiting on a Light," and he asked me to come and record that with him, and it was just a beautiful song that came out, and I'm always happy to go up on stage and play it live with him, because that's where you get that feeling, that
energy,
brotherly feeling, that energy that that you can't get anywhere else. It's on stage.
No, there were certain people. Yeah, there was. I'm so sorry. I always end up interrupting. I blame it on the mode of interview, but it's just me talking too much. There's certain cats that you and I would play with. Like if you and me and Beto were playing, we would play, and somebody like Ruben would come along, and it would just be like, okay, this guy's family. It would be okay. No, there's nothing weird about this. And it would just seamlessly kind of fit in soulfully and musically and everything. And Ruben, it's always been that way every time I've ever been around you, man. So ooh, I like this. Let's see. Brady says my 2 live shows post-pandemic were Del Castillo. Nice, Brady. I love hearing that, man.
We played. We recently played. I think it was downtown Round Rock, and there was at least, I would say, at least 800 people there.
Yeah, I've done that. It's kind of in the. There's like a big plaza, right? And it's like you go right kind of through, and then you plaza. I did that once with my band, man. I hope they ask me again someday, but I don't have that booking agent. I don't know about you, man, but I lost my booking agent like 1 month into the pandemic, and it was just like the guy was like, "Yeah, I can't do this, man." I was like, "All right," and I haven't even started looking again. I don't know, man. Post-pandemic is a different thing for me because I have a different attitude towards, what's going to make me happy. I hate booking myself, but I booked my tour for Texas in like a week by myself without having to deal with an agent. And I'm like, ugh, it works, but I don't want to do it. What's your experience? Somebody else was asking a question regarding your experience with like the changes in music and getting it out there and where you see it heading in the future. Wow. My whole thing is it changes every week.
Yeah.
You don't know.
No doubt.
I mean, it really does now, bro, right? It's like I got a Patreon page now, and like right now it's awesome. I love having a Patreon page. Streaming is cool because I get to people all over the world, but I don't make money. Cool because they're coming back. How's it working with Del? Are you kind of sticking to the golden oldies for a moment?
Yeah, I mean, we have at least, I think we have at least 20 new songs
like
that are that are there, and new stuff that we've been just writing and shelving and kind of, hey, check this one out, and then we'll go into the studio and work on it, and it'll be a new song. I think lately the trio on our live podcast have been showcasing new tunes that we would love Del Castillo to do one day. The dream of playing the full band. So yeah, there's some new tunes there.
Well, I'll tell you, one thing that I've done, and I would suggest is the Patreon thing has made it where my diehard fans give like a little bit a month, 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks, right? And they get everything first. And what it's done is, because of the fact that so few people do albums, I've been able to put out singles every like 8 weeks on top of the Patreon songs.
Wow.
And they've helped me pay for it. And so everybody kind of has to find their own niche when they come up with a Patreon or something like that. And for Del, it could be a thing where your fans from all over the world are like, okay, I want it first. So I'm going to hit the Patreon page and I'm going to put a little bit of money in for the joy of having your music before anybody else. Even I was just talking last night with Miles from Fastball, Miles Zuniga, and he said they're going to do this thing where 6 months before they put stuff out, they're going to put it on Patreon first. And that way it pays for the recording. And man, it takes a little while to get it going, but once you get it going, mine's really modest. My humble, I like to say, my dog paddling through my career, but it's beautiful, man. But it's beautiful. These 100 people, on my site want to, get my music before anybody else.
That's awesome.
I know how many people out there would love to hear new music from Del on a regular basis, and Smiling Castle is just such a killer studio to work out of, man. And
thank you.
The fellas know what they're doing. You guys all know what you're doing. Larry, who I've never met before, Larry Ruiz, says, Jeff Plankenhorn, the Rolling Stones tribute you and Alex did at Strange Brew was fantastic. Let's do another one. Maybe Guns N' Roses tribute next. Maybe. I know Alex could pull that off. I don't know if I could pull off the Slash. It's it's funny because when we did that, the guy at Strange Brew was like, "You got to do tribute night," and I was like, "No, I hate tribute nights. It's not my." I was like, "It's not my thing," and like, so he talked me into doing one, and I did Parliament, with like 15-piece band on a dare, and that was great. But then Brandon Temple was like, "Man, you should do some." So you and I, when he said he wanted to do a Rolling Stones night, I was like, "Well, we have to get Alex." And you
I had so much fun.
You absolutely did kill it, because we were just kind of doing our versions of those songs and just a whole night of Stones tunes. It was really fun.
Carrie Hudson just stole my heart. Carrie Hudson.
She did, because she came in and she did what is it?
Whoa, children!
It's just a shot away. Everybody goes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, Brady says he gets to go into Smiling Castle on the 18th of July. Alex,
All
you
right.
want to come sing some metal?
I'll try.
Yeah, man, I'll try anything. I had a guy come on one time and he came across my Instagram and he was like, "Does anybody want to sing some EDM?" And I was like, "Always." And he was like, he didn't know if I was serious or not. And I was like, "Well, why wouldn't I want to try something new?" And we started putting stuff
Yeah.
together, and it's just like one more thing for fun. I wanted to mention this too about like, I love how you guys get on social media from the studio and you're like hanging out and you're listening to stuff
Yeah.
and you guys do like a live thing. And I highly recommend people checking out the Del Castillo stuff. When you guys go live, you kind of can't fake that intimacy and that fun, and
Yeah.
it's really great. I will pop on there and like see, oh man, they were on for an hour. I'm gonna skim through and see some stuff and listen to a little bit of stuff and check it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is there a particular time you guys do, or is it always kind of random? Or
Well, so we'll do a live stream as a trio, and then after that,
yeah,
we'll go to my Instagram page and do like a live little stream there of some new tunes and songs that who knows if they'll ever come out. You just have to take that chance and play
yeah.
some tunes.
Well, that's another
Yeah.
thing about this interactive thing that's so beautiful is that, I see you guys, you take a little shot, you're hanging out with friends, you're asking somebody and somebody says, "Hey, this tune was great," or, "Oh man, I missed this." And you're like, "Hey, it's so and so." And I remember one time I got on and they were like, "Yo, Plank's in Canada." Like everybody's like, "He's in Canada?" It's so funny. All right, we got a link there. By the way, I love it when people put links into the chat of anything that you want to share that has to do with what we are talking about. I absolutely
Yeah.
love it. I never really did ask platforms to getting music out there, and I'm sure I interrupted you and where you see it heading in the future.
I mean, when we talked about it, it changes every
Which is
week,
just
right?
like,
So
it changes every week.
yeah.
Is that kind of how you feel too?
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's just like it's like an overload but it's a good thing because there's so many streams of ways to get music out, which is what we need.
That
The
part's
world
beautiful.
needs music. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the part
That-
that's beautiful.
Yeah, the part, because like if I'm putting together a playlist, it's like I'm bringing together this person, and then they're right next to each other. Like
Yes.
you might be, Come On or something will be like right next to Ruthie, right next
Yeah.
to Temple Underground, which will be right next to Carrie Hudson, and someone who randomly comes to it.
Yeah. So I just want to say,
They're all
Paolo Pagetti he's out of Milan, Italy,
Yep.
and he just put out that YouTube feed is one of the newest artists he has. His name's Finaz out of Milan, and I did backup vocals. There's a video on it. My video was in front of the Continental Club. It's called Heart of
Nice.
Stone. So yeah, just one more collaboration. And it's a good song. He's a good singer.
Check it out, people. This is how you do it. And Paolo, I'm gonna also retype that so it goes to all of the other places. And while we're talking, and I'm going to, we're getting close to the end of this show. Thanks everybody for the tips, and we appreciate the tips we split. Wait, let me make sure I get this, Paolo. I want to make sure.
And you might like Finaz. You might like Finaz, bro, because he plays a little dobro there, I think.
I love
it.
Man, there's not enough of us, man.
Yeah.
There's really not enough of us. Okay, I hope that's an O there too, but I'm putting it into the restream so it goes to everyone,
Nice.
not just the Facebook. All right, cool. Yeah, man, I know that instrument. It's funny because I follow cats from all over the world that play different kinds of lap. And we're a little bit different from guitar players because pedal steel players really, really love, like really diehard country pedal steel players love like sacred steel players. And sacred steel players really love like, you know, Hawaiian players, and Hawaiian cats really love this cat, and they're not super tribal, and they're not super it's kind of anti. They're really into each other because it's a small knit group, you know. And so steel players of every sort, you know. It's funny because my buddy Chris Buhalis, I don't know if you ever met Chris when he was around. He goes to Italy and does like Townes Van Zandt festivals and plays with dobro players over there and shit, you know. And it's like, of course he does. Of course there's dobro players in Italy, Townes Van Zandt songs. Of course there are, you know.
No doubt.
I love it. Oh, it should be a cue at the end. Okay, Randy, if you don't mind, if you can put that back into the post, I'll try and make sure it gets right. The link for Heart of Stone, and anybody who's back and watches this, you can get that link from YouTube, Facebook, because I keep that up. Okay, so once a week I ask one question that is a Jeff Plankenhorn question before we get off. Thanks to AustinCityJams.com, thanks to Austin Music TV, thanks to everybody online. We will stay online for just a minute when we go off the television show. I always like to ask people what their guilty pleasure music is. And it's funny because most of the musicians don't like to refer to it as a guilty pleasure. They're like, well, I'm not guilty, you know? And I mean, I've had like really, really, really great songwriters tell me they love the Spice Girls. No lie, you know? And I'm a Lady Gaga fan. Just because of, you know, her looks.
Busted!
Was that, you know, because what happened was early on in the show, man, something happened and people found out that I was a Fanilow. And that when I was a little kid, my mom would play records. And if she played Barry Manilow when I was like 3 years old, you know, and I'm dancing on the bed to like Copacabana, you know,
yeah,
a little ribbon in her hair and a dress cut down to there, you know, I get like a warm, fuzzy feeling when I hear that music, regardless of the fact that it's not like, you know, whatever, like, I don't care, man. If I hear Can't Smile Without You warms my cold black heart. So so Lady Gaga's maybe, I mean, I wouldn't call that a guilty pleasure either. She's a great musician.
She's awesome. Yeah.
Stuff
you know,
that people wouldn't think of.
You know, Neil Diamond. Good guy.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Yeah, you know.
Big Neil Diamond fan here.
Yeah, I grew up. I was like, Neil Diamond's like, he's the new Elvis. You know, when I was
he had
growing
the presence.
up, I was like, yeah, he had that look, you know, and that.
Yeah, and he was commanding, and he did have kind of look, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, at that what was it, that the Last Waltz, where he's up there singing, and you know, I was like, whoa, this guy's just amazing. You know,
it's funny, man. My wife and I had never seen The Last Waltz ever, which is funny because, you know, the band is mostly Canadian. Most of them, they were 3/4 Canadian. Yeah. Levon was the only one who wasn't. And so I don't know if that means that she's supposed to see them. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But one night I was like, hey, you know, it's on, you know, one of the streaming services for free. I was like, you want to watch it? Like, I've heard stories about how when Scorsese was filming, like, they almost didn't get Muddy Waters or something because he was like, who's this guy? Like, he didn't know who Muddy Waters was, and so they only got like half of the shot, you know, because they were like, quick turn on the cameras, because he didn't know who he was or something like that. I don't know if that's true.
Wow.
We had never seen it. We watched it in the pandemic a few months back, and it was the first time. It's weird, man. It's, of course it holds up.
Yeah,
but it's weird that we had never seen that.
I just remember the first time I saw Joni Mitchell, I just cried. I just like, what? Who is this angel? You know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The brilliance of songwriting. She just had a birthday. I just saw come across the socials too. I think she just had no, it was the birthday. It was an anniversary of the album Blue. was just a few days back, and she said she saw a big outpouring of love for the album because she said it wasn't really critically acclaimed when it came out and stuff.
Wow.
So, you know.
Wow.
So what's right on the horizon for you? Is kind of the line that everybody's kind of asking.
Yeah.
We get towards the end of the show here. What's on the horizon?
There is this kiddo. He just turned 13. His name is Kane Alvarado. Remember that name, Kane Alvarado.
I'm writing it down. And we're gonna put it in the thing too. Kane, Kane like Cain and Abel Kane?
With a K.
Okay.
Kane Alvarado. And we're going to Jersey to go meet with a producer over there, Obie O'Brien.
What?
And and I pray to God, and this kiddo's got the talent, bro, and he's got I cannot believe the talent this kiddo has. So I co-wrote a couple songs with him, and
great,
he's got one song out right now. It's called Six String. It's on YouTube. Look up Kane Alvarado on Facebook.
Is it Kain or Kne? Spell it for me. K, the first name.
So it's Kane, Kane Alvarado.
Okay. Alvarado.
And
Six string.
Six string. He's got heart. He's got soul, and he can play that guitar, brother.
No, that's what you need too, man. I love it.
And,
I can't wait to hear. I'll be checking that out right after this show too.
Yeah, so Kane Alvarado. It's funny because I was in the car when Obie O'Brien called my buddy Christian, who I co-write with as well, out in Los Angeles, and he goes, okay, so I love the hook. I love what's going on here. I love the sound.
Jersey.
Yeah, he's real Jersey, right? And so. He goes, yeah, Obie, he just turned 13. He goes, I'm sorry, there must be a bad connection. Can you say that one more time? Yeah. Oh, it's so awesome, man. I was loving the moment, Just
They need to okay, so I'm gonna that needs to be on like one of the videos. Oh, bye, Austin Music TV. We're just going off air. Okay, so we're off Austin Music TV right now. Thank you to you guys. And we're just online. That needs to be video, bro. It's like right. You're at the beginning of the video, and they're calling up the producer. He's like, okay, man, yeah, I dig this. Yo, just a favor. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Could you repeat that? And then boom, we go into the guitar.
He's like, I gotta meet this kid. I want to see him. I want him in my studio. And so we're going to Philly in July 9th. So
see, this is why I love that people come to this show too. Kate Howard just put a link up to the video for Six String. Thank you, Kate, for that. And thanks everybody else who's online. Okay, so now we are off television, so we can do as many calls to action as we want. I would really, really, really thank Alex by a couple of different things. One, thanks a bunch for the tips. It's just grocery money and stuff like that. We really, really, really appreciate it, everybody. That's how I keep the show rolling and how I take care of my guests. And you guys are always really, really generous with that. A little $5 goes a long way. It's a cup of coffee. It's a little bit of gas. Now, let's also, I want to say, check out delcastillomusic.com, and that's where you're going to find out where these cats are playing, and you're going to find out what they're doing next, and that way you're going to be able to tune into the live streams with the trio, and then those fun things that I was talking about, the hang afterwards, which is always super, super fun as well. AlejandroEscovedo.com for The Crossing, which is going to come out August 27th. Such a huge thing. I hope that you guys all look that up and we talk about that as well when it comes out. Maybe I can get Alejandro on here or something like that. Who knows? And just thanks to you, Alex, and thanks to everybody who makes this show keep going. And Laurie says, thanks for hosting, and we miss you in Austin. I miss you guys too, and I can't wait to get back. The border is, cross your finger, knock wood, opening on July 21st, and I'm going to be back. And we'll all be able to hang, and I'll be playing some gigs and all that stuff. And any gig that I have, Alex, you know, my stage has always been your stage. So if you walk in, you're getting up.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
If you want to, if you're there.
Yeah, I'd love to.
If you're there to jam, you know, we'll pull out Sunrise or something and have a good jam.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something beautiful that says you. Yeah, man, of all these wonderful things that you're involved with, and for being here on the show today, I really, really appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you for having me. You know, I want you to come back. I want you to be healthy and wealthy and full of the life you give to everybody, brother. Continually.
Thanks, man. Continually. You know, I had a buddy once who said, I don't want to be rich and famous, just well off and well known. I always love that.
Amen.
Always love that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's great.
Okay. Best to everybody out there. Thanks for everybody who tuned in too. And next week, Horty's going to be on, and it's going to be a blast. Stay on with me, Alex, and I will say goodbye. Bye, everybody.